Once again, church camp, $100. You have to be registered by next Wednesday. I have documentation for you when we break. Going Deeper will be this Sunday from 9 to 9:30. Senior tables. If you are a senior and you want to set up a table, the tables are already out there. They'll have black tablecloths on them, and the church will be open Saturday morning by 10 o'clock. If you want to come in and set up a table that says, "This is who I am as a senior," feel free to do so. We've had many people do that over the years. Senior Sunday, this Sunday at 10 o'clock, which is Mother's Day, if you come to services, I have a gift for you if you are a senior. If you cannot make it, and I know some people cannot, I will have it for you next Wednesday. And if for some reason you can't make it next Wednesday, I'll hunt you down and give it to you. Oh, one more thing. You guys ever watch Wheel of Fortune? Yeah. You know that chick that turns the letters, Vanna White? Well, to pick our ticket, I'm going to ask Savannah White to pick the winner of our beef bundle. Yes, I did. I called you a chick. Ugly. Do you know why your feet are small? So you can stand closer to the oven. Is that a blank one?
Yeah.
Holy cow, how do we have a blank ticket? Draw again.
I win. I don't know what that says.
Oh, it's a McWilliams, but I can't read the first part of the name. Starts with a L, maybe? She won. I have a beef bundle for you to take to her tonight before you leave. And it's awesome. It's got T-bones in it. Yes. All right. Now, let's stand and worship. Here you go, Savannah White.
Searching the world, the lost will be found. In freedom we live, as one we cry out. You carried the cross, you died and rose again. My God, I'll only ever give my all. You sent your Son from heaven to earth. You delivered us all, it's eternally heard. I searched for truth, and all I found was you. My God, I'll only ever give my all. Jesus, we're living for your name. We'll never be ashamed of you. Whoa, our praise and all we are today. Take it all. Take it all. And you sent your Son from heaven to earth. You delivered us all, it's eternally heard. I searched for truth, and all I found was you. My God, I'll only ever give my all. Jesus, we're living for your name. We'll never be ashamed of you. Whoa, our praise and all we are today. Take it all. Take it all. Jesus, we're living for your name. We'll never be ashamed of you. Whoa, our praise and all we are today. Take it all. Take it all. Running to the one who heals the blind, following the shining light. In your hands the power to save the world and my life. Running to the one who heals the blind, following the shining light. In your hands the power to save the world and my life. Jesus, we're living for your name. We'll never be ashamed of you. Whoa, our praise and all we are today. Take it all. Take it all. Jesus, we're living for your name. We'll never be ashamed of you. Whoa, our praise. all we are today. Take it all. Take it all. Take it all. Take it all. Your word is a lamp unto my feet. Your way is the only way for me. It's a narrow road that leads to life, but I want to be on it. It's a narrow road, but the mercy's wide, 'cause you're good on your promise. I'll take you at your word. If you said it, I'll believe it. I've seen how good it works. If you start it, you'll complete it. I'll take you at your word. You spoke and the chaos fell in line. I know, 'cause I've seen it in my life. It's a narrow road that leads to life, but I want to be on it. It's a narrow road, the tide is high, but you parted the water. I'll take you at your word. If you said it, I'll believe it. I've seen how good it works. If you start it, you'll complete it. I'll take you at your word. You said your love will never give up. You said your grace is always enough. You said your heart will never forget or forsake me. You said I'm saved, you called me yours. You said my future's full of your hope. You've never failed, so I know that you'll never fail me. You said your love will never give up. You said your grace is always enough. You said your heart will never forget or forsake me. You said I'm saved, you call me yours. You said my future's full of your hope. You've never failed, so I know that you'll never fail me. I'll take you at your word. If you said it, I'll believe it. I've seen how good it works. If you start it, you'll complete it. I'll take you at your word. If you said it, I'll believe it. I've seen how good it works. If you start it, you'll complete it. I'll take you at your word. I'll take you at your word.
John has left the building. This is one of the hardest things that I ever taught my children, that I had to learn as well. I even had a young man in here, and I had a guy I work with come into my office and he goes, "Oh, bring up the video. I'm going to call the cops on this kid." I'm like, "What happened?" He goes, "Somebody dumped a whole 44-ounce pop on my hood, and I know it was him." I brought up the video. It was him. And it was Wednesday. And I told this guy, "Please don't call the police on him. Let me talk to him." He said, "Okay." I came into church that night and I sat with him and I said, "Hey, I want to ask you a question and I want you to be honest with me." He said, "Okay." I said, "Did you throw a pop on a car outside of the bank about 2:30 today?" "Oh, no, man, I'd never do that." "One last chance. Be honest with me." "I am. I'm being honest. There's no way I'd lie to you." I had the video on my phone. Picked it up and I showed it to him. And I said, "You're lying to me." And I said, "Do you really want to be that kid?" I said, "Do you realize, do you understand that there are parents in this town that do not want you hanging out with their kids?" I was honest and brutal. I just laid it out there. I said, "This is your reputation. This is who people think you are. Do you really, really want to be that kid?" And he stopped and he just sat there for a long time. And he finally looked up at me and he said, "No, I don't want to be that kid. I don't want to be him." He started really getting involved in Wednesday nights. He actually even came a few Sundays. He started really listening to what was going on. He participated in discussions like he never had. I happen to know that Will wanted the best for this young man because we talked about it. And we are so saddened that he's been arrested twice in the last 3 weeks. He didn't understand what he was becoming and what his reputation really was and what people thought of him. And he just leaned into it. I've had young people in this group when we've written letters to God. I've talked about this before. I said, the title of your letter is "I'm sorry." And then tell God what you're sorry for. He wrote one thing: "I'm sorry for being trash." I got news for you in this room. God doesn't make trash. Okay? He doesn't. You're not. Unless you turn yourself into it. Unless you choose to be it. I tried so hard to get that young individual to understand that God loved him and he had so many options in his life. He's in prison right now because I couldn't convince him, and nobody could, that he wasn't trash. I do not stand up here and do what I do for 36 years because I just want to. I do it for you. I do it because God has put each and every one of you on my heart for years. So are the people in here that are your small group leaders. I'm not paying them to be here. They're here because they love you. The things that we talk about, the things that I say from up here, they come from the very bottom of my heart and soul. I want you to live the best life you possibly can, but you can choose to drive it in the ground, or as my favorite thing is, you can turn it into a dumpster fire. What is your reputation with people? What is your reputation as a group? If people know you come out here, what do they think of you? We need to show our faith together. Hillary Clinton wrote a book called It Takes a Village to Raise a Child. I don't know about that, but I do know that we as a group reflecting our faith is powerful. I've watched things in church change. I've watched things in our community change because of you. Because of things you did together. We've done things like clean up the town, work at people's houses for nothing, go to the retirement home and sing hymns to them. Oh, that sounds kind of stupid. They loved it. We made their day. If I had anybody that could play the guitar for us, we'd do it again. But we as a group showing our faith together, that's our reputation. That's who we are as a group and the individuals that make it up. I'm going to ask you this question, but I don't want you to say anything just yet. What are some things that feel intimidating to you? I want you to think about that. I'm going to give you some examples. Asking a teacher for a homework extension, that's always nerve-wracking. I've done that. And depending on the teacher, that can be a stressful situation. It can be intimidating. Or going to see Saw. Do you want to play a game? Actually, I don't think he sounds like that. It's more like, do you want to play a game? Like that. I don't have it cued. But some of those movies, they do more than freak you out. They do things. You're not sleeping that night. You may be 16, but you're like, I'm going to be at the foot of your bed, Mom. What about the first time you went to a school dance? No, actually, I've seen the way some of you dance now. I don't know. We danced in a square. What about when you have to make a speech in class? I used to be in debate, and I got so nervous my first debate, I got a nosebleed. I was so intimidated, and I was so scared. I'm standing up there, and my nose just starts going, psh. It was terrible. But does it feel less intimidating if you're not alone? If you're with others? What's something you find intimidating? Hands up. I'll call on you. Tall people. Asking for help. Relationships. Why are you saying it laughing? Oh, yeah. Anybody else? What else do you find intimidating? Back there. You. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm going to tell you. Kayla, are you in here? Okay. I pulled up into my driveway. I'll come back to you. And my daughter was there with her boyfriend. And he had his arm around her. And I get out of the car and she goes, "Hey, Dad, this is my boyfriend." He goes, "Hi, I'm Zach." I went, "Hi, I'm Dad. Get your arm off of her now." And I wasn't playing. I'm that dad. Yeah, I really am. He went, "Woo, I gotta go." And he hopped in his car and he left. But he came back. He ended up marrying her, and I suppose that worked out. He got her out of the house. What do you find intimidating? Presentations. What do you find intimidating? Louder? That can be. They're not guys. They don't think like us, and we don't think like them. It's kind of really a different place. What do you find intimidating? Game wardens? I have 27 birds in here, and I'm only supposed to have 20. You find this intimidating? Oh, first kiss. Heights. Yeah. Yeah. Am I within that grace limit? Nope, that was it. Sorry. I want to read something to you. I want to talk to you about 3 people in the Bible. And this is going to be a lot of Bible. I'm going to try to go through it quick, but I want you to try and pay attention. Okay? King Nebuchadnezzar made a gold statue 90 feet tall and 9 feet wide. Set it up on a plain of Dura in the province of Babylon. And then he sent a message to the high officers, the officials, the governors, the advisors, the treasurers, the judges, the magistrates, and all the provincial officials to come to the dedication of the statue he had set up. So all the officials came and stood before the statue, and the statue was of him. Man had an ego. So the statue was of King Nebuchadnezzar. And the herald shouted, "People of all races and nations and languages, listen to the king's command." This legit happened. When you hear the sound of the horn, the flute, the zither, the lyre, the harp, the pipes, and other musical instruments, bow to the ground to worship the king and his gold statue. See, the king in this day, you worshiped him as a god. And if you didn't worship a king when he commanded you to worship him, you ever see Game of Thrones? Okay, if you have, you know bad things happen to people when they do things they shouldn't. That's what happened when you didn't do what a king told you. Anyone who refuses to obey will be immediately thrown into a blazing furnace. So the sound of the musical instruments, all the people, whatever their race or nation or language, they bowed to the ground. And they worshiped the gold statue that King Nebuchadnezzar had set up. But some of the astrologers went to the king and informed on the Jews. They said, "King, long live the king. You issued a decree which required all the people to bow down and worship the gold statue when they hear the sound of the musical instruments. That decree also states that those who refuse to obey must be thrown into a blazing furnace. But there are some Jews, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, whom you have put in charge of the province of Babylon. They pay no attention to you. Your majesty, they refuse to serve your gods and do not worship the gold statue you have set up." You see a conflict coming? Nebuchadnezzar flew into a rage and ordered that Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego be brought before him. When they were brought in, Nebuchadnezzar said to them, "Is it true the 3 of you refused to serve my gods and to worship the gold statue that I have set up? I will give you one more chance to bow down and worship the statue I have made when you hear the musical instruments. But if you refuse, you will be thrown immediately into the blazing furnace, and then what God will be able to rescue you from my power." Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego replied, "O Nebuchadnezzar, we do not need to defend ourselves before you. If we are thrown into the blazing furnace, the God whom we serve is able to serve us. He will rescue us from your power, your majesty. But even if he doesn't, even if we burn in agony, even if our life is over, even if everything we have is destroyed, we will never serve your gods or worship the gold statue you have set up. Nebuchadnezzar was so furious with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, his face became distorted with rage. He commanded the furnace to be heated 7 times hotter than usual. And yes, this is how they put people to death. One of the ways. I don't really think being burned alive would be real pleasant. Then he ordered some of the strongest men of his army to bind Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego and throw them into the blazing furnace. So they tied them up and threw them into the furnace, fully dressed in their pants, their turbans, their robes, all their garments. Because the king in his anger had demanded such a hot fire in the furnace, the flames killed the soldiers as they threw the 3 men in. Something so hot that the contact heat of getting too close to it killed you. So Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, securely tied, fell into the roaring flames. They refused to bow to the things they knew they shouldn't. They chose what they knew would be death. Over what they knew they shouldn't do. Their reputation, God's reputation, is who they were. So how does this pick up? They're in the fire. But suddenly Nebuchadnezzar jumped up in amazement and exclaimed to his advisors, "Didn't we tie up 3 men and throw them into the furnace?" "Yes, your majesty, we certainly did," they replied. He said, "Look, I see 4 men, unbound, walking around in the fire unharmed, and the 4th looks like a god." Then Nebuchadnezzar came as close as he could to the door of the flaming furnace and shouted, "Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, servants of the Most High God, come out. Come here." So they stepped out of the fire. The high officers, the officials, the governors, the advisors crowded around them and saw the fire had not touched them. Not a hair on their heads was singed, and their clothing was not scorched. They didn't even smell of smoke. Here's the thing about the Bible. I don't believe these are fairy tales. I don't believe they're made up events. I believe these 3 men refused to worship a false god, and they were thrown into a fiery furnace. And you know what? If you really read what happened here, it says that the fire hadn't touched them, not a hair on their head. They didn't even smell of smoke. But there was one thing that was burned up in that fire. They were free. The things that bound them up are what burned. The things that tied them down are what burned. The things that tie you down are what you need to let burn. God walked with them in that furnace. He walks with you in your school, in your home, here, wherever you go. You representing? Yo, G-Town, I represent Girard. That's awesome. When we go to a basketball or a football or a volleyball game, wrestling, whatever sport you do. But are you representing King of everything. Nebuchadnezzar said, "Praise to your God, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego." He sent his angel to rescue his servants who trusted him. They defied the king and were willing to die rather than serve or worship any god except their own God. And I'm going to tell you something, and this is a fact. Some of you in this room are worshiping something other than God. Oh, no, I don't. I don't have any little idols in my room or anything like that. Anything that you put before God, I don't care who or what it is, you're serving that, not God. You are serving things of this world. And serving things of this world will destroy you. Like the people I talked about at the beginning. They chose to serve the world rather than the Lord. Therefore, I make this decree: if any people, whatever their race or nation or language, speak a word against the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they will be torn limb from limb, and their houses will be turned into heaps of rubble. There is no other God who can rescue like this. Nebuchadnezzar just had his eyes blown wide open by the living God on behalf of 3 men that didn't let the world destroy them. Then the king promoted Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego to even higher positions in the province of Babylon. Their faith in God was real. They were strong together and they were not intimidated. You are strong together. All of you are sitting in groups right now. You're strong together. Are you intimidated to share your faith? Are you intimidated to live your faith? They didn't just depend on each other, though. They depended on God. I want you to think of this. How do you display your faith? Do you consider yourself a Christian? Have you accepted Christ as your Savior? Do you come here on Wednesday night to hear what He has to say for you, to you, here in your heart? Do people know you feel the same way when you're not here? How do you display your faith? Because people are always going to try and change you and tell you to do things that do not match your identity. You may be thinking, wait a minute, John, you telling me something right now. You're trying to change my identity. You're right. I am. I want your identity to change because I want your identity to be defined by God and your relationship with Him, not everything else around us. When you choose faith, you will never be alone. You have God, you have each other. I want you to really read this. It is in the fire where you will find yourself in faith. In your worst moments, in your scariest, in your stressful, your anger, whatever it is that you're in the fire, that is where you find yourself in faith with God. And hold on to Him and hold on to each other. When you got people going, come on, man, everybody does it. Heck no, it's not a gateway drug. Take some. Or worse. I remember, Jody, you in here? Yeah, remember what we said in high school? It's just beer. I was on the express lane to becoming an alcoholic. In a very short period of time, I found myself in the fire. What's your fire? And what's your faith? You need to learn to say something together. You need to learn to pray for others. Do you know you can pick a time of day to pray? You can send encouragement. Those little sticky notes, I talk about this a lot. But we took sticky notes and we wrote real encouraging messages on them and slid them into lockers at school. I know people who have graduated years ago who still carry theirs with them because it made such an impact. Your faith impacted their fire. Talk to God about sharing your faith, and He might give you ideas of how to share it. What's your reputation? Make something together. You have creativity to tell a story in your life. There's many of us who've gone through all kinds of hardships, who've suffered loss after loss after loss. You have a story to tell. Tell it. Help someone in need. Use art if you're good at art. Use social media. Use anything. Your combined faith is empowered by God. And then do something together. You know, you can volunteer together. You can serve others. You can uplift others. You can empower each other. I'm serious. Spend time with folks at a nursing home or in places that feel isolated. Walk in and hand out pieces of candy and just say, God loves you and I want you to know that today. Maybe the hardest thing you ever do, but you want to talk about making an impact in somebody's life. Your actions create the reputation that you care, that God cares. Because He does.
There's a grace when the heart is under fire. Another way when the walls are closing in. And when I look at the space between where I used to be and this reckoning, I know I will never be alone. There was another fire standing next to me. There was another in the waters and holding back the seas. And should I ever need reminding of how I've been set free, there is a cross that bears the burden where another died for me. There is another fire. All my debt left me dead beneath the waters, and I'm no longer a slave to my sin anymore. Should I fall in the space between what remains of me and this reckoning? Either way, I won't bow to the things of this world. And I know I will never be alone. the name that is Jesus. He who was and still is and will be through it all. So come what way in the space between all the things unseen and this reckoning. 'Cause I know I will never be alone. Oh, I know I will never be alone. There'll be another in the fire standing next to me. There'll be another in the waters holding back the seas. And should I ever need reminding how good you've been to me, I'll